Hello everyone. Today I wanted to go over something kind of nice that's in games like Jedi Survivor, Dark Souls, and that's shortcuts. So shortcuts are used in order for players to go from having to do a situation over and over and over again to being able to continue from where they were without having to find a new save point. A great example of this is Sin's Fortress, when you find an elevator, and I actually have that in here, going over that sort of little elevator thing. The other one would be Jedi Survivor, when you get to the other side of a door and you're able to unlock it. So if we look at this door, right here, it's red, indicating that it's locked. If I walk up here and I hit E, nothing happens. But if I go through the game and work my way over to the shortcut, you'll see that not only will its material change from red, it'll go green. So if I get closer, green. So that means the door is unlocked. So now if I walk up to it, hit E, it'll open. So we don't have to worry about it closing. If you want it to close, you can. So if I hit E, it unlocks. Then I press it again, and it opens. Now I have that path, and I can get back to the original entrance if I want. So now, the other one we have created, we'll go through this code real quick first. So if we go to the door, we have a few things we need to go over. So how this works is on begin overlap, we have a lock. So in my blueprints, you can scroll down to variables. You can hit the plus to create one, create a Boolean. So click Boolean, and then I named it lock. Unlocked. Using that, I can have E be activated through a begin overlap that is connected to a collision box. Go over, click the add, type in collision box or box collision, then move it into place where you're wanting it to be. I put it on the side that I'm going to have where the player comes over from the opposite direction. They get over here when they start, and they get over here when they come through again and unlock it. So I have two. One is small over here, and that is the lock. And then over here is the big one, which is the one that actually opens the door. In the event graph, when they overlap with the lock, so we click it, scroll down in details. I accidentally closed it. So we click it, and then you scroll down to these pluses, you have on actor begin overlap. You click this right here, and it will create that. So after you get the component begin overlap, drag off of it, type in cast to, and then type in the name of your blueprint. Mine is CB Sandbox character, so when I type in CBP Sandbox character, I can click here, boom. And I connect the object to the other actor node. And what that allows it to do is specifically once my character overlaps with it and nothing else, if an enemy is in there and they overlap with it, it won't count that character. But when I step into it, it will go through. And once it enables, we can hit E and that will unlock the door. So when it goes through, we have a branch set up with the condition unlocked. To create the condition unlocked, you go over to your blueprints, go down to where your variables are, click the plus, and you can create a Boolean. A Boolean is a type of variable that creates a condition. So when the condition is met, it goes, you can set it to things like branch to let it go through, or if it is not met, it does not go through, and you have it set to another code, which right here is branch. True would mean that it would go through the timeline, and if you hit it and it is false, it will go through and activate the other code. Over here, we have it set the unlock to complete, so it will be unlocked from then on out. So when it goes through, do once, it completes, it sets the unlock. So how you set that is you go over to my blueprints, you drag in your unlocked, let go, hit set, and you click the check. So once you connect this to the set, it will unlock it, and then we can do the material, and element 0 is the first material of every material, so you need to find which one you have it set to. And then you have it go through and change to the material you want to use. I created a green and a red, locked and unlocked. So it starts with locked, and then it switches to unlocked with the material. And it will actually go through the pressed, go through the branch with the condition checked now when we set it right here. With it true, so we do have the condition passed, it goes down to this flip-flop. A goes to play, B goes to reverse, so when you hit E on it the first time, it will open. If you hit E on it again, it will reverse. You can just spam it, it'll open and close. It uses this timeline, so if you right-click and add timeline, you can hit track, go to float, and you can set the first point to 0 by right-clicking, add key point. And when you click on it, it'll have times and value. So this is 0, 0, because you don't want it to be different. The end is 195, and we'll use that in a second. So the value is 195, the time is 2 seconds, because it takes 2 seconds for this door to open. Inside of the event graph, after you go through the timeline, you drag in the object you're wanting to use to have it move and let go. If you want others to move with it, drag them on top. So how this works, set SM cube, set relative location. That will make it move based off of the location of the blueprint in the world. So that way, if it moves in the blueprint, it moves the exact same amount every single time based off the blueprint's location. If it's set to world, it'll move based off of the world's location, so outside of the blueprint. And you'll have this delta location. You can right click it and do split struct pins. That'll give you access to all 3. If you ever clicked on a mesh, you can see in your details, X, Y, Z. We go back over the door, go to event graph. We want the Z, so that's up and down. And we can drag the timeline over to it, and it'll start at its exact location in the blueprint at 0. And then when it goes to the timeline, it will move up to that 195 we have set. So that is how you get this code to work. So with all that enabled, you can go through and it'll play all of this code. You want to set your other box and set enable input, and that will activate the E that is connected to the branch, and the branch will change between them once you have that condition met. And then once they leave, you just disable input, so that way they can't open the door from a mile away. So that's how that code works. Pretty simple. So boom, 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 and then I can close it if I want. Let's head up to the next one, the one that is more akin to the Sin's Fortress shortcut. So you travel along here. The player, maybe they've been playing for 10, 15 minutes and they're ready for a checkpoint. They're like, oh, what's this? They come over here and it activates and like, oh my gosh. And it takes them down. And once they arrive, they're down here at the beginning again. So now they've got 2 checkpoints to play with that take them to the exact same area. In Dark Souls, they'd have had a bonfire in here somewhere. So you get up from that bonfire, you go over here, you hit E, and you go back up to where you were. And that allows you to use your little save point locations. Of course, you'll have to save these in your save game system. Unless we go through a save game system, I can't show you how to save these, but you should be able to implement them pretty easily by saving whether those conditions are met and saving if they've been opened or closed already. But yeah, there we go. That's how you go ahead and set up shortcuts. How the elevator works is actually a lot simpler than the other one. Because the elevator is up in an area they can't reach either side of it from the beginning, you can go into it and simply, on overlap and on end overlap, you can set the player controller enable and disable inputs. Then the E flip-flops the timeline. And it's as simple as that. You go into your viewport. How I did this is because it's in the viewport, I can actually go down to where its base is. And now I can just, from the blueprint, click the cube, drag it down to what I need, figure out the height I want it to be at. There we go. So I know negative 1,185. Then it's as simple as going to our timeline, creating the timeline, going into it, and setting it to negative 1,185. It's pretty simple, and because we have the coding set up already and the player can't just get up there from the beginning, we don't have to set any locks on it. So the player just has to go up here and hit E. You can set it to just activate from the begin overlap if you want. So every time that you enter and leave it, you can go in. It's pretty simple to swap it. Instead of connecting it to the E, you can set begin overlap for play and then end overlap for reverse if you want it to just be a one-time elevator. Or you can just connect the event begin overlap to the flip-flop and compile, disconnect the E. And then when we hit play, we just walk over to it. It goes down. So now we don't have to worry about it. If you want to set it up a little different, you can go ahead and set a lock down here. Use the conditions that you learned before. Have the one down here. Make it to where the code is unable to go through until the lock has been gone through. So now we've created our own little shortcut system. You can use this for multiple different things. It's very useful for RPG style games. Just take it and set it up with your code to work. And the reason that these are so important is it makes characters go from repeating something that is just ridiculously hard to you go through, you've unlocked these, and now they can go back to their save points and now they can just go real quick to that area that they were at before. And it saves you time because it means you only have to make one like save area. You save that area, you get up, you go back to that checkpoint, and it takes them back to that area that they were in. And as I said with this door, so you can use the door, the elevator, and when they're used in tandem, I have this one save point that I had set up. I didn't have to set up any others. And now I have two different entire areas I can go to, and it'll take me back here. Games like Dark Souls use, like I said, use this all the time. It's very important. It allows for a really, really controlled flow of your game. It gives the players that sense of, oh, against the progression, to let them really just feel like they've accomplished something. They're back here again. And if you have 3 or 4 save zones, you can have like 7 or 8 of these between them. And it'll really, really make your game kind of feel fluid. It'll make it more fun and enjoyable. And it gives the players that thing of, okay, I've got to a point that I can save, I can go to work, I can go watch something, I can just take a break from the game, and I'm not losing any progress. And it saves you the time because you didn't have to make multiple areas. You just set something up that allowed it to work through. And all you had to do is go through with your save systems, which we may cover at some point. Go through with your save system that you have set up and come up with and everything, and save whether they've been unlocked or not. So I really hope you all enjoy this video. I hope you learned something, and I hope this gives you some really cool ideas for your games in the future. Other than that, I really hope you all have learned a lot from my videos, and I hope you all have a good day.